Hello and welcome to Channel 2 News at 9. Today's story included an interview with St. Julie Billiart as she talks about her life and what she overcame to be here with us today. Stay tuned to hear from Dorothy Stang about her work in Brazil. Sarah is now joined by St. Julie in one of their many locations, Windsor, Connecticut. Sarah? Hello, St. Julie, and thank you for being here. So, I'm very curious to know what you have to say to these questions, and I'm sure our viewers do also. The first thing I want to ask you is, when and where were you born, and where did you grow up? Well, I was born in 1751 in Colville, France, and grew up there, but it wasn't easy living in France during that time, especially in a poor family. When I was very young, my father got robbed in his fabric shop downtown, which was very hard for me to deal with, seeing him work so hard and then get that all taken away. I wanted to help him all that I could, so I started working and selling fabrics for the money to provide for my family. That is very inspiring. I understand you were paralyzed for a long portion of your life. Can you tell us about that? Yes, of course. Well, after my father got robbed, that shook me up pretty bad, and for reasons the doctors couldn't explain, I was paralyzed. I couldn't move from the neck down for about 22 years, and it was really hard for both me and my friends and family I had left. That must have been really hard for you. When you founded the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, were you still paralyzed, and how was that experience? Yes, I was still paralyzed when I founded SNDN, Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, with Francois Blin de Bourdon, and that experience was completely life-changing in so many ways. I met Francois during the French Revolutions, taking refuge with Countess Baldun. Francois became my co-laborer in creating SNDN, and under the auspices of Bishop de Amiens, the foundation was laid of the Institute of the SNDN. So you met Francois during the French Revolution and then started SNDN. Tell me about that and what you guys actually did together. So that experience was really challenging to overcome all the barriers, but we eventually did it, and we started out SNDN with only 8 orphan students. Our society's primary object was the salvation of poor children, and several people offered to help. It was really an amazing cause in that time, and I was so surprised that even more than 2 people came to help, but it was really life-changing. That's really great work you're doing with those people. What do you think, though, caused the success of SNDN? I think that the success of SNDN should be credited to being approved by an imperial decree in June of 1806, when it grew by almost 30 members, and because of its growth, foundations were made in various towns of France and Belgium where Mother St. Joseph was the mother of the latter house. That's really incredible that SNDN was approved by the imperial decree. That's a huge step in the program. It's been really great talking with you and hearing about your amazing story. Just one more question before we end the interview. I've heard the story of how you were able to cure your paralysis, but can you tell me more in depth about that? Yes, of course. The one word I have to describe that is miracle. It was clearly God's miracle to cure me of paralysis so I could walk again, and so I could do all the things that I love to do regarding the church and SNDN and all my amazing orphan students. I met with a priest who was a friend of the community to pray, and his unspoken intention was my cure. He told me I could walk, and I stood up out of my chair and walked, just right then and there.